Here every Tuesday night from 6 to 7 p.m. and I am your host, Tiffany Ram, also known as Tiff Talk TV. And Taboo Talks is a show dedicated to creating a safe space to have courageous conversations about some of society's most taboo topics. And this week is a little touchy topic in regards to adulting and how it kind of sucks. Most of us can agree that there's a lot of things about adulting we just didn't know till we knew, and that's today's conversation. Everything from finances, relationships, emotional management, financial management, college, bills. All of those things are just, let's be honest, it can be very overwhelming to be a quality adult. And that's why today my shirt says, I can't adult today, because some days I'm just not that good at it. I have the skills, but a lot of people don't. So let's talk about it. Let's vent about it. If you want to join the conversation today, if you just need to vent, you just need to get it off your chest, because especially during this holiday season, y'all, if you are struggling as an adult, the holiday seasons hit you hard because you're like, yo, I just ain't got it. Or I don't have the time for it, or I just don't have the energy to explain myself for it, or maybe you're trying to make some things happen that really just should not be happening if you are a good adult. So let's talk about it. Please join the conversation on YouTube. If you're listening and you want to type in a comment, you can do that on the Spreaker app. You can type in comments. We're going to watch that, as well as YouTube comments. Please just go subscribe to Tiff Talk TV YouTube right now. And we're live on YouTube, and you can type your comment there and participate with the conversation as we go along. Also, you're welcome to old school call in, because we about that life at 310-910-9676. And let me say that one more time. Don't forget to press extension 1 so we can get you live on air at 310-910-9676. Please call in if you have a question, a comment. If you just need to vent, you need to get it off your chest. What sucks about being an adult? And or what did you not know till you knew? So let's talk about it. I have a lot of comments from Instagram earlier today. So if you're following me also on Tiff Talk TV Instagram, which is one of my main platforms, you can also make a comment there, and I'll try to check the DMs as we go through the show. So no matter how you're tuning in today, if you want to interact, please do. And a lot of the conversations come from your comments, or when you guys DM me questions or follow-up questions. So the good news is, if you have a question, comment, or concern, and you're in the LA area or in the Midwest area, I probably have a follow-up expert for you. So if you have financial questions, you're in luck. I know an LA financial advisor. If you're in the Midwest area and you have mental health issues, you have medical issues, you have fitness issues, you have any kind of issue in the Midwest, I got you. So if you have a follow-up question to anything we talk about today, feel free to DM me on Instagram, and I will respond with some kind of referral to help you out. With that being said, we already have our first caller. Many of you already know her because she's a regular on the show now. So please welcome Jakari Star.
Hello.
Hey, boo. So you are on hold. Wait, I'm checking your comments right now. Hold on. I'm going to make sure I'm missing nothing. Just kidding. Okay. So is there anything pressing on your mind right now, like about adulting in general, or anything you need to vent about, boo? You called in quick.
It's hilarious that this is your topic today, because I've spent the better part of today adulting. Outside of actually being at work, on every single break, I've had to take care of some customer service issue, being overcharged for something. As soon as I got off of work, I had to go work out for an hour to get this body right. So I was trying out this new gym. And immediately after that, I had 5 minutes to get to AT&T before it closed, because they overcharged me $300.
Oh, my Lord. $300?
Yeah. Yeah, someone completely messed up my account. Anyway, they overcharged me by $300. But why doesn't matter, just no. And yeah, like, that's the type of thing that I've had to do on top of emotional adulting. So yeah, it's pretty appropriate for your subject today.
And I mean, I don't know if you want people to know this business, but it's about to go on here now. You are a mother as well, so you did all that adulting on top of, like, you have whole human beings in your life. That's ridiculous. So
yeah, I have whole human beings. So I mean, unfortunately, they're going to be asleep by the time I get back. Okay. I get off of work at 6 o'clock at night. They go to bed at 9:30. So I'm going to have to sneak into the house and kiss my babies while they're sleeping. And, that's never it's never fun for me to come home and my kids are sleeping already.
Aw. But I bet there's tons of people listening that have that same experience where you have to manage parenting and adulting. And some people just act like those things are synonymous, like they're the same thing. And they're not, because sometimes this adulting gets in the way of your parenting, like you just explained. Like I had to deal with customer service issues and stores closing at certain times and running all these errands. And there's only so many hours in a goddamn day. So that's crazy. So how do you manage?
Yeah. I manage that. You know what? I'm getting better at it. I have a planner, and I also utilize the calendar on my phone. It took a really long time for me to get as organized as I am now. Mm-hmm. But now on Sundays, I'll sit and I'll plan out my entire week down to the hour, and it really keeps me focused. And then throughout the week, if something random pops up, I already know what my structure is, so I know where to fit it in, and I'm not running around like a headless chicken. So honestly, that's how I fit everything.
Yay. Bestie said rule number 1 about being a quality adult is time management, people. Time management. So I do something similar. I use like layers of planners because I have one for at work and then one for my, personal career outside of, the job. And the number one thing that has helped me now, because I'm a very visual person, I need visual cues to like prompt and cue me, is that I put a whiteboard next to my front door, that says like my to-do for the week, like my week in a forecast, and then my to-do for the day. And so daily I can update, like adjust the week as it goes. And then every time I have to go in and outside of the door, I see what is happening. Like, oh, that's what you're supposed to be doing when you're leaving right now. Like if you're leaving for any other reason than what's on the to-do list, you need to reevaluate why you're leaving right now. So whatever strategies help you, but yes, time management is key to adulting. And I just think a lot of people aren't that good at it. In regards to that, though, do you think, because this is something I teach and this is going to be part of a curriculum that I like actually release, is do you think a lot of people are busy versus productive?
Oh, I definitely think they're not as productive. They're filling their time with just a whole bunch of stuff, smashing everything together with no real purpose. Mm-hmm. But if they sit down and they really structure their time, and if they really sit down and structure their time, they'll see exactly how much available time they have to do other things. Before I sat down and actually really thought about what I was doing with my time, I thought I was busy, but a good 2, 3, 4 hours a day of that went to social media. Ooh. And then just filling up my time with a bunch of junk that really doesn't serve me any purpose. Because, one of my businesses, it relies on social media, so I have to do that aspect of it. But if I only use it for its purpose, which is marketing, I can get that out of the way with automatic scheduling or signing on just to post these things that are necessary for the business and then going about my business. So it's definitely more just busy instead of actually being productive with your time.
Correct. And I think it's critical for people to start learning the difference between those two things overall. But for you also, is there anything that you're like, I didn't know that till I knew it? Like, what are some adulting things that you're like, holy crap, that's a thing, like that you've come across in your years of being an adult so far?
I think the most flabbergasting thing that I've learned since being an adult is how much stressing yourself out from whatever it is that you're stressing yourself out from, how much it impacts other areas of your life, primarily memory. For me, my memory is absolutely terrible, and I just thought that was just me as a person, and it was actually something that I was very subconscious of. I would forget what I was about to say in the middle of me saying it. Right. And, I would be having a conversation with someone, and I can feel myself starting to forget where I'm going with this. And then the anxiety kicks in of, they're going to think I'm stupid. I don't even know where to go with this. Now I'm freestyling a conversation and probably looking more ridiculous than if I just said, I forgot where I was going with that, Right. But I learned that anxiety, stress, primarily anxiety and stress, those two things in particular, impact your memory. And the more you go through anxiety and negative stress, the worse your memory becomes. So when I learned that, I was just I was glad because now I had an answer for why I couldn't remember anything.
Right.
But then I was a little sad because just thinking about how terrible my memory was, it really made me look at how stressed out I was.
Well, right, and you are correct. So neuroscience has showed us that the different, like, oxytocin and different chemicals in your brain change based on stress, and the number one thing it impacts is your memory. So, so I just want people to be aware of that. The more stressed out you are, the worse your memory is going to be, and that's actually going to continue to add to your stress and anxiety because, like you just said, you became aware of it, and then it just provoked more anxiety. So I want people to be aware of that. Another reason why you should learn stress management techniques. Oh, whoever was just calling in, call back. We're going to take you. We will plop Jakari Star on hold because she's our bae. So we're going to answer... Jakari, I'm going to put you on hold, boo, and we're going to come back to you so we can add someone else to the conversation. We'll be right back. Welcome to Taboo Talk. This is Tiffany. Who am I speaking with, and where are you calling from?
This is your sick buddy from Minnesota.
Oh, love. I was like, you could have wrote in on YouTube.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Right? Now everybody knows what the Midwest sounds like because it just, you sound like cold, and it's cold there.
It is -3 degrees right now.
Oh, that's so ugly. So what is something, because so for people who are listening, I'm blessed to have 3 gals. I explained to people that I have 3 gals. Like Oprah has 1 gal, I have 3. This Jakari Star is 1, and this is my other bestie. So my gal number 2. But also, like, she's my icon in adulting. I'm pretty good at managing my life and whatnot, but everybody needs, like, the person who lifts them up. So this is Stephanie, and she is literally like, you adult pretty well. So what is your, like, least favorite part of adulting?
My least favorite part of adulting is you adult all day long, and you get to the end of the day, and you have to keep adulting. It's coming up with dinner every night. Nothing stresses me out more. You just want to come home, relax, and you got to use your brain more, use your body more, go somewhere, get dinner, think about it. Like, I'm just like, I just want to be done. Somebody take care of me now.
Right? Oh, man. It's true. So adulting's exhausting because it literally never ends, which is why I think some people are crazy for becoming parents. Not that I'm saying I won't become one day, but, like, just being an adult and taking care of one human is kind of exhausting. The idea of taking care of another whole human is insanity to me. Like, my brain struggles.
I totally give props to parents trying to just take care of yourself versus taking care of yourself and other people. Props to all the parents out there.
How about when you're sick? How much does adulting suck when you don't feel good?
Oh, you can't call out from work. You can't, it's like you still have to go to the grocery store. You still have to run all your errands. You still have to, go to work. It's just, you never get better then.
Facts. I can ask you this adulting question because I know you actually have this part of your life mediumly together. There's some people that I would ask these questions and it would be over their head because I know this part of adulting is beyond them. But what about the things you didn't know in regards to planning for, like, retirement and stuff? Like, how much is that just ridiculous? Like,
every time that summary comes out, I'm like, I go, that's it? That's all I contributed? I'm like, oh no.
Right. Like, what blows my mind is how much I'm supposed to be saving to actually, like, comfortably retire even at the same amount of income. I'm like, so this amount I'm supposed to be saving is ridiculous. Like, I don't have that amount now. How am I supposed to save it so I can have it later? Kind of blows my mind. So that's the sucky part of adulting for me. What about dentist appointments and doctor's appointments?
Oh, I got that down. I'm totally on top of that.
Are you? I suck. Like, I can go to the appointments. I'm great at follow through. It's the, like, making the appointment part that I'm like, oh, it sits on my to-do list for the longest time before I finally am like, oh yeah, make an appointment. Once the appointment's made, yep, I'm going. It's done. But I suck at the making appointment part. Ooh, you're also a pet owner though. What about Cleo's shots? Like, is she up to date on her shots?
Yeah, she's up to date. She's not friendly about it, but she's up to date.
I don't know, like I dread because my fur baby has started being not so pleasant, aka threatening to bite and or threatening to scratch people when we go to the vet now. So it's like a whole ordeal. I have to like moderately tranquilize him and whatnot. So it's a whole ordeal going to the vet. But those are like aspects of adulting. Recently, a friend of mine gifted me. I'm fostering a dog right now. And I came to find out this dog has no vaccinations. She's 2 years old. And I was like, this is an adulting fail. Like, epic, epic fail. So those are the things that blow my mind. Anything else particularly that, like, you had on your mind when you saw this topic come up in regards to, like, adulting? What sucks about it or what sticks out to you that people just don't talk about enough?
Being an adult totally reminds me of, like, being at work every day, the things they talk about, time management, priority setting. It's like you can't stop doing that stuff in your personal life. Like, it's like the stuff you do at work every day.
Right.
It translates really well into your personal life, and you have to, like, keep going, basically, the same way you would at work.
Well, right. I think some people think you can compartmentalize them, but those skills that you use at work are the same skills you should be using in, like, your personal life or your romantic relationships or whatever. Like, everything needs to be managed. That's what I realized as an adult. Like, everything needs to be managed. And I didn't know if I signed up for that as a kid. Like, nobody gave me, like, a learn how to manage your life skills class. Like, life skills class was like baking and like sewing crap, but the stuff we baked isn't stuff I'm eating. So now, like, it didn't really benefit me. So I don't know. What would have been practical classes you think to actually have, like, in high school to prepare you for what life is actually now?
There should have definitely been a car class, like a basics to your car, like checking your oil, putting in, windshield wiper fluid, changing a tire. Like, I mean, I know some people just figure it out really easily, but that would have been probably one of the most basic classes that I think would have been super helpful.
I also realized that I need the sticker. Like, if you change my oil and you don't give me the sticker, like, what are we doing here? Like, I don't know magically when to change my oil. So this last oil change, I remembered the month and I was like, dude, I just have to do it at 3 months. But I immediately asked him, I was like, dude, you got to put a sticker in the window or I have no idea when I need an oil change. Like, little stuff like that. Like, I need a reminder or I'm going to forget. What about that? Do you live on reminders? How do you use your reminders?
I am like the queen of reminders. You were talking about doctors and dentists when they send out those little reminder cards. I already have the appointment in my phone. Right. I live for the calendar on my phone and setting alarms and reminders. I always set everything I put on my phone. I set a day before reminder and a 2 hour prior reminder.
These are all good things, a day before and 2 hours before. I am terrible at the phone reminders because anything that beeps, I just swipe. So those don't work well for me because I never look at them. So I literally I do a combination of electronic reminder, like I look at the week overall, and then I have to physically write it on this whiteboard that I was just describing to people. Like, if it's not physically written somewhere at some point, I'm going to forget it. And I think that's like the old school millennial in me that's like, I need paper still. So I do a combination of like electronic and physical notes.
Yeah, well, the whiteboard, that totally works because we use tons of that at work too. And just that visual aspect, a lot of people are visual. So.
Right. Any last tidbits about adulting?
Well, just get a thick skin and power through.
Ooh, wait. That's my last question for you. The question that came up when I was talking to people about this earlier today, or like a comment, was more around the emotional. Do you feel like anything in your life really prepared you for like the emotional balance you have to find as an adult between like work and friends and family and navigating that? Do you feel like you were prepared for like those aha, holy shit, I'm an adult moments?
No. I still to this day, when I'm feeling stressed, I will call my mom. I'm like, Mom, help.
Facts. And you know what? So you do, I do, and I know my mama calls my grandma still. So it must be a generational thing. Like and that's the other reason I'm scared to be a parent, is you don't stop ever being a parent. I'm 30-some years old, still calling my mama. And my mama is 60-some years old, still calling her mama. So it doesn't end. It doesn't end. Well, I appreciate you, Steph, for calling in, even though you're sick. So I'm going to let you go so you can be a good adult and drink some tea, like I know you probably already are, and cuddle your
Oh, for
cat.
sure.
And I appreciate you calling in. I love you so much and miss you. And I'll see you soon. I'm in Minnesota
All
in
right,
like
love you.
T minus 16 days.
All right,
Love
love
you
you.
too.
Bye.
Bye. All right, so I'm not gonna pull Jakari Star on quite yet, unless she's already live. Whoops. But what I wanted to get to, I want to set the stage for this conversation. I don't know what comments are going on in YouTube right now or anything, but we'll take a check at those in a second. I wanted to address some of the Instagram comments because I love that you guys participate so much, so I appreciate you. And I want to make some of these comments known. And then I'm going to bring up something that someone had shared with me earlier today, and I was like, you know what? That is a critical part of this conversation of adulting. So I'm going to set this up, and then we do have a second caller, so I'm going to pull that person in just a second. Where is this comment at? Where are they at? Here we go. When I said, can you vent? What do you hate about adulting? Someone said not being able to be yourself, society standards, just hipsters, millennials. Someone else said not being able to dream big without worrying about bills. This is something that's reoccurring in conversations that I have with people in regards to, like, we tell little kids all day, every day, you can be whatever you want to be. And then when you turn 18 or like maybe you finish college at 22, like that same support, that same belief really isn't there, because then people are like, well, how are you going to pay for that? Really, how are you going to do that? Like, especially if your dream's beyond something they know or have ever seen done before, that whole chase your dreams thing kind of gets dumped on when you're an adult. And that really sucks, because we're raised like, yeah, you could be whatever you want to be until you're like 16. And then they're like, you got a career goal? How you going to pay your bills and take care of yourself? So that's something that's really a bummer. And that's the ongoing theme in the thread here, which says bills and lying scams. The government. It sucks about being an adult. To be honest, trying to find a love of your life. How hard it can be sometimes is to find a life partner. I get that sometimes. People's expectations on how you should live your life, and maybe how you want to live your own life. So I'm going to welcome in the next caller. What's your name and where are you calling from?
How you doing? I'm Robert, calling from Reseda.
Hi, Robert from Reseda. And what's on your mind in regards to adulting?
Well, I think somebody already said bills, right?
Right. But what about bills? Because we all got bills and we know we don't like them. Anything specific
Well,
about bills?
Well, I would say like management, like money management. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're not. I know a lot of times when I wasn't taught anything like money management, APR, interest
Mm-hmm.
rates, all of that in high school. I didn't learn it until like college, and even in college when I learned it, it was like after I had already messed up, like with credit cards and stuff like that. So like you're not just really like all of that stuff. Like they tell you to save money when you're a kid and stuff like that, but they never tell you like why, because of interest rates and all of that type of stuff.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of people just have to learn it the hard way. It's like, fuck, man, I wish I would have learned this in like high school or middle school, so I would have been better with it.
Right? Or maybe you wish you would have had one of those money managed, like minded parents that took out a credit card in your name when you were 16, but not like to rack it up, but to like build your credit for you. Because that's what I plan to do for my baby. Like get them a credit card when they're 1 year old and just put like the gas on it. And then by the time they're 18, they have 18 years of good credit already, you know? Little secret. So yeah, credit cards, dude, that's so serious. Did you know you're supposed to keep your credit card under 30% of your balance to make it look good?
Oh, really?
Not use it, not at all, because if you don't use it at all, it doesn't build a credit history. But if you use it too much, then it looks bad. These are the tips people need.
Didn't even know that.
Right? See, the things you learn. Okay, so you didn't know about credit cards and money management. What about time management?
I mean, like even that. Like, I mean, I've always been pretty good with time management, so that wasn't like something too out of the part for me. But like, it was mainly just the budgeting, the planning, you know, learning things of that nature, like interest rates, APRs, stocks, learning about stocks on your own, like all of the stuff that like you really have to do. Like even driving, like when you first get your license, you're like, man, you're super excited to be on the road, but like traffic is horrible, especially out here in LA. Like, I wish I had a driver. I'm not excited to drive in LA.
I wish I had a driver. I can't wait till I make it. That's the number one reason I want to make it. I'm not gonna lie. Like, there are so many other reasons I want to make it, but literally not driving is like top of my list. That's crazy.
Absolutely.
What about? So the other thing that came up, a thread that's been really common, is like talking about the emotional management of adulting, but also the dream management of adulting. Do you feel like as an adult, you've had the same amount of support chasing dreams as when you were young?
Absolutely not. Like, anytime you go into the entertainment field, I think unless your parents are entertainers, they don't really support you. And my mom was not an entertainer; she was a teacher. So, she's in, education, and I'm talking about entertainment. So she definitely was not behind me 100% initially.
That's no good. Just because it's hard already to chase a dream, but when you don't have a lot of support, it's even harder. And I was telling someone today, like, for me, I'm lucky because I have a support system that believes in me, but they're still like, but you got to pay your bills. Like, we believe in you. You can do it, but you still got to pay your rent. So because I'm the first in my family to do literally anything I've ever done. So they're like, yeah, you've done everything else. Like, yeah, we believe in you, but like, you still have to be an adult. And I think that's what, some of the other callers have mentioned, like, that sucks about being an adult is like, you actually can't ever just stop being an adult. Even when you go on vacation as an adult, you come home and you still got an adult.
Oh, yeah. It's a temporary relief, but it's not a full thing.
Right. And depending on how your paychecks work, you might be stressed about adulting while you on vacation.
Absolutely.
So anything else that sticks out to you in regards to this topic? Like, what's your least favorite thing about adulting as of now?
It's kind of a double-edged sword, like kind of just making all your decisions. As a kid, you might have some input on like what you want to eat for dinner or, what video game you want. But, for the most part, 70% of the decisions were made for you. And you never realize how much of a blessing that is until you have to make all of the decisions, what's for dinner and what gets paid first and who gets how much money and how the allowances are split up. When you have to wear that crown that makes all the decisions, you realize how good you had it as a kid and how much you took it for granted because you wanted to be grown and you wanted to, stay up later. But now you get to stay up late, but you also get to stay up late and balance that checkbook. So,
amen. Oh, Lord.
Making all the decisions is the gift and the curse of growing old.
You are 100% correct. You ain't never spoke such a truth. There's a great power and like freedom in being able to make all the decisions, and then there's a huge responsibility and burden in making literally all the decisions all the time. Well, I appreciate you, Robert. I hope you have a good day. It sounds like I don't know if you're driving or what you're doing with your life, but I hope you drive safe. If you are driving and you continue listening to the show, I appreciate you, and we're gonna flip over to Jakahari Star here in just a second. I don't know if we cut off Robert, but we appreciate you. If you're trying to come in on the line still, we're going to answer you in just a second, so bear with us. I did want to take a moment to let y'all know towards the end of the show, in probably another 10 minutes, we're going to spend some time talking about the benefits to adulting, of course. I'm not going to have a whole hour of just bashing on adulting, okay? But I do want to start the conversation in regards, kind of pique the interest of y'all and get your minds thinking about what I'm really digging at. I really want you to dig deep in regards to why is adulting so complex? What did you not know you didn't know until you needed to know? Some of these things, examples to get you thinking in this direction is, like, I just thought the garbage man came, y'all. Okay, so where I grew up, it didn't just come. And what I mean by that is, I didn't know my daddy actually paid a bill for the garbage man. Because we lived in the township, so we weren't actually like in the city. So my dad had to pay a separate bill for the garbage man. And the irony in all this is that my papa's name is Randy, and it was Randy Sanitation. I'm like, dang, daddy, you got to pay the garbage man for the garbage that says your name on it? That's crazy. These are the things like you didn't know as a kid. And mind you, I was like 22 years old before I figured all that out, before I knew. Like, I don't know. I just was watching my dad balance his checkbook one day, and I was like, what's that bill is? And he was like, the garbage bill. I was like, what? So, like certain utilities, I just thought that was like included. You know, if you're not a homeowner, I mean, even if you're a renter, I think a lot of people don't have a renter's insurance. But if you're a homeowner, I didn't know, like basically you're required to have homeowner's insurance, and it's expensive. And like that property tax, like that be changing up on you, that be adding to the mortgage. Like these are just grown things that you don't know till you know. Until you're at that phase in your life, you don't know none of that stuff. You don't know nothing about, you know, inheritance tax. A friend of mine, we're talking about in regards to adulting. A lot of people don't realize, like, part of the issue in a lot of communities of color, especially, you know, African American community, Black community, is they don't understand that we are actually inheriting debt. So, you know, if your mama and daddy got a 30, 40-year mortgage because that was the cheapest way to get a house, and they die 20 years in, yeah, you get the house, but you're inheriting that mortgage. That ain't a paid off house for a lot of people. And then there's inheritance tax because you're inheriting that. And if you can't afford that mortgage, let alone the inheritance tax, now you just inherited debt. Like the debt doesn't just die when the person dies. And these are the things you just don't know till you know. So one of the tidbits I was talking to a friend about in regards to wealth management is a lot of people who just don't know, is in regards to like life insurance. A lot of people just get enough, either you don't have any at all, which I'm sorry, poor people, but if you poor, like you too poor to not have life insurance, okay? Like, come on, communities of color, come on, certain communities and people. I'm gonna need you to stop having potlucks at church. Like you can afford life insurance, I promise you. And this isn't me coming at your life. This is how we come out of poverty. So this is my little soapbox about adulting is, you need to get enough life insurance to cover everything, not just the burial. So if you have a house, you need to get enough life insurance to cover that mortgage, so your family isn't inheriting debt. You need to cover your car. You need to cover your student loan debt, again, because just because you die doesn't mean your debt die. You might be dead, but now you just been passed on debt to another generation, and now people are wondering what's wrong with some of these communities that they can't overcome. And it's like, well, because nobody taught us this. So there's my little Tiff Talk tangent of the day to kind of spike your interest in regards to what did you not know, you didn't know until you knew. That's what I mean when I say that, is a lot of us just didn't know until someone told us. So I'm going to bring Jakari Star back because I'm sure she has something to say about wealth management. Hey, boo.
Hey.
Hey. So what are some financial things you didn't know until like it was too late in regards to adulting?
Financial things I didn't know till it was too late. So I'm still currently poor. So I don't know anything yet. Grew up poor. I'm just saying.
I mean, you was honest, boo. I love it. I appreciate you.
I mean, I guess I wouldn't say that it's financial. I would say what I didn't know is the vast amount of ways that you can get money.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm Black, fully Black. In our community, you know, I'll just speak for my family. And my family, you're successful if you're, you know, a doctor, a lawyer, a rapper, an engineer, something like that. Like, those are the basic, you've made it, you're successful type of things. But growing up, I'm meeting people who are making six figures doing things I just never would have even thought of. So, like, one is project planning. I didn't realize that was a six-figure career,
Right.
depending on what certifications that you have.
Right.
Had I known that, then that's something that I would have pursued because that's something that I'm actually very passionate about. So I don't necessarily know how to answer the whole, you know, what financial perspective. For me, it's just, a world of financial possibility. I guess that's how I would answer that. Like I said, I'm still poor, so I'm still learning.
I will definitely, you know, agree with you in regards to entrepreneurialism. Like, I had one or two family members that had their own businesses, but like this particular one family member was not a good businessman, so it was kind of frowned upon in my family, like the idea that you get a job and you start a career and that's where your financial security is. The idea of starting your own business was very unstable, like looked at as very unsteady. And so the idea of entrepreneurialism was definitely not instilled in me as a young person, but it's clearly where I'm supposed to be going with my life. So, so navigating that can be really difficult as an adult when you're realizing like all the stuff you don't know. And the only way to find out is to learn. And you have to go be in charge of your own learning. Like, wait, how do I know I don't know it, and what do I need to know? So I would say for me, one of the hardest things about adulting is just like continuously learning, accepting the fact that like I'm going to be learning for the rest of my life. Like, I'm a forever student.
Yeah.
Like, forever.
And you have to just get comfortable with that. And
Right.
just think about all the things that we're learning that wasn't accessible for our parents. Like, there's just so much information that we have. Honestly, that in and of itself is stressful. You know, when I was like 14, 15, I'm thinking, okay, when I grow up, I'm going to have some kids. They're going to get a whooping when they're bad. And I'm going to go to work.
Right.
I'm going to graduate college. Life is going to be good. And you become an actual adult, and you're just like, okay, whooping your kids is probably going to make some terrible people.
Right.
College may get me $35,000 a year, maybe, because that's not really that much of a thing anymore. And you're going to be sad all the time if you don't actively work on the stuff that plagues you. So,
Right.
oh, man.
And that was...
We're gonna, you know,
Wait.
are we going to shift the gear? Because I'm starting to be sad about being an adult now.
Oh, yeah, we're going to shift gears. Well, you're going to have to just keep listening, because I'm going to shift the gears to you off the air, because I see A+ taking notes, and I'm going to give the last few minutes to A+, because I know he want to say some stuff over here. He has some questions and some
I
follow-up.
love hearing what A+ has to
Right.
say.
So we're going to give the last few minutes to A+ over here, and then I will turn the gears to remind people, like, all the upsides to being an adult. But I just wanted to give some vent space to acknowledge, like, this is hard. Like, everybody just floating through life, and we trying to, you know, stunt for the gram. Like, nah, this is hard. So I want y'all to know it's hard. You're not
That's a real
alone.
thing.
Yeah, and, you know, just find some outlets to help you learn some strategies that make it a little less difficult. So I
And you
will...
know what's really sad?
What?
I think a lot of people underestimate just how much social media makes you sad.
Well, that's going to be a whole nother
think
taboo topic, so we're going to save that for
okay.
another day.
All right.
But yes, I agree that if you don't use social media appropriately, it can be very, very depressing. So we are definitely going to have that as a topic coming up very shortly in regards to how to manage your social media intake so you do not become depressed.
Yeah.
So that's a thing. Anything else, Jakari Star, before we say goodbye and we love you?
Well, I don't have anything to add. I'm hoping that you wrap up on a positive note.
We will.
Obviously, there's some positive things about being an adult. So.
Right. Well, I appreciate you. Have a great night. Keep listening. And we're going to turn it over to A+. I see you jotting notes, A+. What in the world do you have questions and or comments about?
So, let's see. Let's look at my paper real quick.
Right? I see you taking notes, which everybody should be. If you have a question or comment, take notes, shoot me a DM. We're going to answer these questions.
So, first off, everybody who called in and who chimed in, who had, their adulting issues, I just want to say I co-sign. I agree with everything that has been said. I think for me, one of the main things I want to co-sign with, I want to say Stephanie who called, who talked about how they should have had like a car class in high school.
Yes.
I mean, what was it, home economics or whatnot? They should have kept that in high school.
Right.
And then if not that, I believe it was a wood shop or something like that.
Right.
Like just having the trades in school, I think is 100% necessary, because college isn't for everybody.
No, it's not.
And one of the things that I learned about college is it focuses a lot more so like on the mental and theory
Right.
compared to, practical, hands-on type of stuff. So people, they neglect to talk about how a career in the trades can get you the same amount of money that you can get from a degree or a master's degree, in sociology or something like that. You know what I mean? Some people are just good with their hands. Some people like to build stuff, but you might not necessarily know that you have that skill.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
And quite frankly, if my toilet is messed up, and am I gonna call my friend who has a sociology degree?
Heck no.
Or a Pan-African studies degree? Or am I going to call the homie who knows how to, fix the damn toilet? You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like you got to think about things that's actually necessary. So that's one thing I wish that they would have taught kids and the youth.
And or yourself.
Myself as well, too. And then another question that I have is adulting on a night out.
What you mean adulting on a night out? Be more specific. Come on,
Okay.
A+. Tell
I mean,
me
like
what you mean.
it's a general question. You're going out. You know what I'm saying? You and your homegirls. there's still some level of adulting that you have to do.
Oh, true. So, like for women, especially for
Right.
women,
Absolutely.
there's a little more adulting I think that takes place because of just societally what happens. So, like adulting for women when we go out is there's usually a designated driver
Bada bing.
or the designated like the mom of the group,
Yep.
like someone staying sober and babysitting because it's risky out here to be a grown woman or a young woman of any nature and
Absolutely.
to be intoxicated in public, which I'm gonna be honest right now, I didn't drink all through undergrad
Really?
in public. No, with friends and family, like in little like home settings maybe.
That's dope.
But nobody in undergrad had ever seen me drink liquor because
Okay.
I was like, I don't trust none of y'all fools.
You
Like
didn't
I
go to frat
don't.
parties or anything
Oh,
like
I
that?
went to frat parties.
And you didn't
and I
drink in
didn't drink a
there?
drop.
No jungle juice?
No,
No, none of that?
definitely not the jungle juice. I know a lot of nukes in my day, and I
Right.
wasn't touching none of that. I promise you. I don't care how many canes you twirl or how many Q dogs you bark. I don't know. No. I was staying coherent with my decisions because
Smart.
it's dangerous out here for both parties.
Absolutely.
You know, for men, like if I'm intoxicated, like is that consensual? For a woman, it's you have to be an adult all the time, like Steph
Right.
said. So that's kind of the tricky part of
Right.
adulting.
Right. At the end of the day, I think if everybody had enough money, adulting wouldn't be so much of an issue. But when it comes to bills and all other type of stuff being paid, but another thing that was also intriguing to me was the whole parenting thing as well. So I'm not a parent, and that's one of the reasons why at 35 I'm afraid to even still have a kid right now. You know,
Speak on
I
it.
could barely take care of myself.
Right.
So for me to even bring in a kid, you know what I'm saying, my last relationship, that was kind of like an experience of parenthood, and that was a struggle. I mean, it was arguments every day. Not necessarily directly because of the kid or whatnot, but like there was an element there. You know, we couldn't do certain things because this was priority or whatnot.
Right.
So it just made me think like, damn, if I had a kid, like my everything would just slow down. But you know what I'm saying? For those who do have kids, for you to go to work and you want to go to the gym, you got to go grocery shopping and come back home and kids are sleeping and stuff like that. Like, man, I salute y'all.
Right?
But adulting, it's so many layers to it too. I mean, it's just
So many layers.
I mean, I don't know what more to say. I think like
What about dreams? So the question that was posed to me, or was it a question or a comment? Let me go actually look at it,
okay.
so I don't mess it up, because it was beautiful, and I was like, yeah, we're gonna use that. So let me go get it.
Probably said adulting kills your dreams.
Is that when you're a kid, we're on the same playing field, so to speak, like encouragement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like everybody's encouraging you, but the thing that stinks about being an adult is that people don't want to see you win. Like it feels like your dreamer ideas don't line. If your dreamer ideas don't line up with theirs, they're like, "How you gonna do that?" You know, or like with what they're saying. So like when you're an adult, when you're a kid, everybody like you can do whatever you want to do. But by the time you're an adult, it's like if you're, especially if the people around you are in the same circumstance and trying to go the same place,
Right.
and you're speaking bigger than they think is capable, like
Right.
they don't really support you because they can't
Right.
see it happening.
Right.
So have you experienced that yourself? Do you feel like that's true?
To a certain degree. You know, as you're talking, I'm thinking about like, you know, how certain people have certain privileges.
Right.
Like you don't know the privileges that you have until you get older, right?
Right.
So when you get older, it's like, okay, well, I had both of my parents in my life. Both of them was college graduates and stuff like that. So college was a breeze for me. So, you know, the transition to adulting is probably smooth, you know what I'm saying, in comparison to somebody who didn't have their parents in their life or whatnot. And then the idea of competition, right?
Boom.
Competition, like
Right.
like you said, when we were kids, you know, everything, we were on the same playing field. We have all these dreams and hopes, aspirations, our imaginations are so vivid. And then you know, once we become adults, and like I said, the whole privilege thing, certain people, you start to realize, man, this person low-key kind of had a head start in life in comparison to me. Then he's over here traveling every 3 months, and you know what I'm saying, I'm just on my block looking at social media, being pissed off, being upset. And it's like, I'm trying to date this young lady. She got a master's degree, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not on her level. So you know what I mean? It's like, damn, I mean, that the adulting for that person is so much more, even probably more traumatizing and emotional compared to the person that's, you know, ahead. But
Right.
It's
So adulting definitely has layers, and that's something will be a topic. We're not going to put them back to back because that's just too heavy, too much. But it will be like, what were some of your adulting aha moments when you're like, oh shit, I'm grown? And because I have.
Can I tell you mine?
Yes, please. Because I have a few. It's not just one.
When I went to jail.
Oh, we gonna come back to that.
Yeah.
A+ went to jail. Damn.
Can you believe that?
A+. Okay,
Can
we
you
coming back
believe
to that.
that?
Okay, Taboo Talk. Like we coming back to that because I promise we're gonna end on a positive note.
Right.
So, well, we do talk about the fact that, or we have talked about and mentioned the fact that like it doesn't seem like once you're an adult you have as much support societally or even in your inner circles in regards to chasing your dreams. There's always this undertone of like how you gonna make that happen, how you gonna pay for that. Well, the beautiful part about adulting that I've found great freedom in, that basically the last 2-3 years has been this discovery and has really been empowering, is that in all that adulting, in all that responsibility, in all that you have to make every decision, that's exactly what makes it amazing. I'm 100% actually in control of my life. And once you realize and take responsibility for that, yeah, there's a lot of things we don't have control over. You know, intergenerational racism, systemic failures, all of that kind of stuff is against us. But when you realize a good portion of your ability to be successful all can stem from your own behavior change and taking responsibility for yourself and making those changes, you really will realize the sky's the limit. You just have to be diligent and consistent. It might not happen as quickly as you like, but you really truly can, as an adult, accomplish whatever you want. As a kid, you are dependent. I had a conversation with a friend in regards to I could have been way farther along in my career by now had my parents made some critical decisions. My mom, I had been accepted to a few acting squads, traveling acting squads, different modeling opportunities growing up, but my parents just weren't like, she didn't want to do it when I wanted to do it, I didn't want to do it when she wanted to do it, and we missed some critical opportunities because my mom wasn't willing to make that sacrifice. And I'm not hating on her for that. It was just that wasn't where her mind was at. You know, so as an adult now, though, I know that's what it takes. You have to be willing to give it your all the time. Like we said, you adulting anyways. It ain't stopping. Like you do that 24/7, you know, 7 days a week. So you may as well maximize that. Read some books on time management. Read some books on financial management. Read some books on, you know, generational wealth and wealth building. Because the reality is once you master these skills, because you have to do them anyways, you may as well do them well and productively and efficiently and maximize them because you really can accomplish anything. You just got to do the work. People come to me for life coaching all the time and they're like, Tiff, where do I get motivation? Y'all, if you know anything about me, I don't believe in motivation. Motivation is fleeting. What is real is behavior change, consistency, discipline. That's what you need. Motivation comes and goes. They're like, well, what happens when I lose my motivation? That's where discipline, routine, and consistency comes in. Those days you don't want to go to the gym, you're in so like much of a habit that it's second nature. I don't want to go to the gym every day, and I love the gym, but I go because that's part of my routine and my consistency and my discipline. So again, it's not so much about motivation. It's not so much about what's stacked against you. The beautiful part about being an adult is you really do have the freedom to take 100% control of your own life. So with all that being said, I don't want y'all to be droopy out here in these streets. Adulting is heavy. It is heavy. You got to manage your life, everything from what you put in your body, what you eat, how you use your body, and how you use your mind. We didn't touch on it that much yet today, but emotional management as an adult is one of the things we have underdeveloped in our young people and our past generations. We are failing all of our generations by not maximizing emotional development. So one thing that keeps people from dating me, it's not finances. It is emotional articulation and emotional intelligence. I can't date you if you don't know how you're feeling and you can't tell me about it. So please, if you want to be a better adult, maximize your emotional intelligence, maximize your time management skills, maximize your finances. It doesn't mean you have to be a millionaire. It just means a lot of us, even the little money we have, we're not doing the greatest at managing it. So if you're a biblical person, it does say what you do with little, you will do much. So you have to demonstrate you can manage the little that you have before you come into a lot. With all that being said, I appreciate you. Taboo Talk is here to educate, motivate, and inspire. I hope that's what we did today in a great conversation with multiple people. I appreciate all of our listeners and our callers for coming and, you know, being courageous and sharing their stories with us today. Tune in next week for Taboo Talk from 6 to 7 p.m. here on Accelerated Radio.
Architect, doctor, maybe an actress, but nothing comes easy. It takes much practice.